If you listen to this music, you are aware that you are going to be entertained by a great car show called Driving with Gloves.
Some cars get old, but this car has become a legend. This is a review of a masterpiece that strikes the perfect balance between purist tradition and modern drivability. The Porsche 993 Carrera 4 Cabriolet is more than just a car. It represents a definite milestone in Porsche's history. Produced between 1994 and 1998, it marked the end of the air-cooled era and remains for many enthusiasts the last true 911. And this car is for sale, so stay tuned to see the complete review of this car with highly interesting background information.
No prints upon the wheel, no smudge upon the glass. She watches through the mirror as the common shadows pass.
Driving with gloves through the heart of the night.
Driving with gloves. He's the spark, he's the light.
So let's put on my gloves and drive. Hi, my name is Cor and welcome to my channel, Driving with Gloves. I always drive with driving gloves. Your question might be, why does he drive with gloves? And my answer is, why not?
In September 1993, I was invited by Porsche to visit the Frankfurt International Motor Show, where the Porsche 993 premiered. To be honest, I was totally disappointed about the looks of that car, but that was my opinion back in 1993.
The 993 is widely regarded as one of the most beautiful 911s ever made. Designer Tony Hatter managed to retain the iconic silhouette while smoothing out the wings and integrating the bumpers seamlessly.
For more than 15 years, I used to own a Porsche 911 Targa myself. I grew up with the G model. Even the Dutch police drove 911 Targa. So I was quite shocked that after the 964, a flatter, more aerodynamic 993 showed up.
30 years later, I see the necessity of this design change, but back in 1993 I didn't. Remember, some cars get old, but the 993 has become a legend. Let's have a look at the design. The flatter, more aerodynamic headlamps bid far well to the upright frog eye lenses of the 901 till 964. The Carrera 4's wide hips give it a muscular stance without appearing garish. With the top down, the car looks sublime. With the roof up, the heavily padded high-quality hood remains a very harmonious profile.
And this Porsche received a new soft top just a few months ago. Yeehaw! And let's have a look at the engine. Of course, the engine is in the rear.
The drivetrain is an air-cooled orchestra. At its heart lies the 3.6-litre flat-six engine. The standard version produces 272 PS. The gearbox is a 6-speed manual, which feels significantly more modern and refined than the units in its predecessors.
Listen to that beautiful sound. That distinctive air-cooled rasping howl is inimitable. It feels mechanical, raw and unfiltered.
The Carrera Force system, the all-wheel drive system in a 993, is much lighter and more agile than that of the 964. Using a viscous coupling, it only sends power to the front wheels when necessary.
This provides immense stability and confidence in the wet without sacrificing that classic rear-driven character.
Let's have a look at the driving experience. Precision with soul. Thanks to the completely redesigned aluminium multi-link rear suspension, the so-called LSA axle, the 993 is far more forgiving than the 964.
Yee-haw! The notorious lift-off oversteer that haunted earlier models is much better controlled here. It's a wonderful car. So did I already mention that this car is for sale? Unfortunately, I didn't know that 30 years ago that it was such a good car.
The 993 Carrera 4 is the perfect everyday classic. It is more forgiving of driver error than its ancestors, yet it still offers that tactile steering feedback that modern electric systems simply cannot replicate. The Porsche 993 Carrera 4 Cabriolet offers the best of both worlds. You get the classic aesthetics and the soul-stirring sound of the air-cooled era, combined with the reliability and stability that makes it perfectly capable of long-distance touring today.
As a convertible, it is the ultimate machine for a spirited drive in the mountains or along a beautiful lake.
To understand why the 993 is so revered, you have to look at the man behind the pen, Tony Hatter, a British designer from Newcastle. Hatter joined Porsche in 1986 after a stint at Opel. When he was tasked with the 993 project in 1989, Porsche was in a precarious financial position.
The 993 wasn't just another model, it was a make or break car for the company. The philosophy behind it was carved from a solid block.
Hatter's goal was to move away from the upright look of the previous generations, the G model and the 964. He wanted the 993 to look more organic and integrated. Hatter famously smoothed out the front fenders. By leaning the headlights back, he created a more aerodynamic profile that finally broke away from the torpedo tube look of the older 911s. While the 964 looked like it had components bolted onto a frame, Hatter's 993 felt like one continuous flowing sculpture. The bumpers were fully integrated into the bodywork, creating a wasted look that made the car appear smaller and more muscular at the same time. The Carrera 4 specifically benefited from Hatter's love for wider tracks. Even in the non-turbo models, the stance was widened to accommodate the new aluminium subframe and multi-link suspension, giving it that planted look.
Designing the 993 was an exercise in doing more with less. Because of Porsche's tight budget at the time, Hatter had to be ingenious.
Remarkably, the 993 actually shared its doors from bonnet and roof with the previous 964. Hatter's magic was making the car look 100% new despite using these carry-over structural parts. One of the most iconic 993 features, the cup or teardrop mirrors, was a Hatter touch. They weren't just for looks, they significantly reduced wind noise, which was vital for the convertible experience.
Tony Hatter didn't stop with the 993. He later works on the Carrera GT and the 911 GT1, cementing his status as one of the most influential designers in the history of Porsche.
The 993 was the final 911 to feature the classic 5-dial dashboard layout in its purest air-cooled form. This arrangement had been a Porsche hallmark since 1963. The rev counter sits exactly in the middle of the cluster. It is the heart of the cockpit. Under Hatter's watch, the fit and finish was significantly improved. There were more leather options, higher quality plastics, and a more tactile click to the switchgear.
The interior of the 993 feels bulletproof, as if it were hewn from a solid block of granite.
The 993 was one of the first 911s where the wind deflector was truly effective, allowing you to enjoy the mechanical symphony of the engine at high speeds without excessive buffeting in the cabin.
This is an amazing car. I never had expected this. That it is such a good car, because I drove even 996 and I was not so pleased, but this is an air-cooled version, the best air-cooled version you can get. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Driving with Gloves with this beautiful Porsche 993 Carrera 4 Cabriolet from 1994. Do not forget that this car is for sale, so if you are interested, please contact me. I must admit that it is an amazing car. I didn't expect that at first, because as you know, I was very skeptical because of the looks, which I didn't like in 1993. But now we are 33 years later, so maybe I have changed my taste. However, the car is amazing. Now I'm going to enjoy this car a little bit. Steady like a rock. See you soon in a new episode of Driving with Gloves.